Bakelite, a story of incest and murder. American socialite Barbara Daly Bakeland was the ex-wife of Brooks Bakeland, grandson of Leo Bakeland, creator of the first fully synthetic plastic resin known as Bakelite, which had made the Bakeland dynasty fabulously wealthy. They set up home in a luxury apartment in Manhattan where they held extravagant dinner parties for their rich and famous high society friends. Barbara became well known for her insecure personality, mental health problems and bouts of severe depression. She also drank heavily and both her and her husband had extramarital affairs. Barbara gave birth to their son Anthony Bakeland on August 28, 1946. The family lived an opulent lifestyle, travelling widely and renting luxury houses and villas across Europe. As Anthony grew older, he started to display signs of schizophrenia and paranoia, which became increasingly regular. He was eventually diagnosed with schizophrenia, but his father, Brooks, initially refused to allow him to be treated by psychiatrists. Barbara was very controlling, which contributed to her son's increasingly unstable mental health. When Anthony was 20 years old, Barbara discouraged his reputed bisexual relationship with a man and encouraged his relationship with a Spanish girl named Sylvie. However, Barbara's husband Brooks had an affair with Sylvie, resulting in Barbara and Brooks getting divorced in 1968. Barbara was convinced her son Anthony could be cured of being bisexual if he had sex with women, so she hired prostitutes for him. When the prostitutes did not cure Anthony of his homosexuality, it is alleged that Barbara instigated an incestuous relationship with her son in 1968 following her divorce in a bid to fix him herself. Barbara was known for liking to shock people as part of her consistent attention-seeking, so it is not clear whether her claims were fantasy or true. Tensions between mother and son escalated over the next few years, and it is reported they often had explosive arguments. Anthony became violent and tried to harm his mother on repeated occasions. In July 1972, he tried to throw his mother into traffic outside their exclusive apartment home in Cadogan Square, Chelsea, London. Luckily, he was not strong enough and Barbara survived. Anthony was arrested for attempted murder, but Barbara refused to press charges. He was admitted to a private hospital for treatment, but it was not long before he was released. Anthony became increasingly paranoid, and his psychiatrist warned Barbara she was in danger of being harmed by him, but she refused to accept it. On November 17, 1972, Anthony and Barbara had another explosive argument during which Anthony murdered his mother by stabbing her with a kitchen knife. When the police arrived, he was calmly ordering a Chinese takeaway meal. After his arrest, it became clear Anthony was unaware he had killed his mother, even asking how she was and when she would be visiting him. Despite attempts to get him extradited from the UK to America for treatment, he is found guilty of manslaughter and sent to Broadmoor, which is one of the most secure hospital prisons in the UK. 8 years later, in 1980, wealth and influence secured his release despite the objections of his father Brooks, who believed Anthony was capable of killing again. Anthony returned to the US to live with his 87-year-old grandmother. Just 6 days later, they got into an argument and he stabbed her 8 times. Luckily, she survived. Anthony was sent to Rikers Island prison. Attempts to grant him bail were delayed while waiting for his medical records from Broadmoor in the UK. And on March 20th, 1981, Anthony was found dead in his cell after being suffocated with a plastic bag wrapped around his face. His death was never verified as suicide or murder. Like and follow at LostPastStories on YouTube, Instagram and TikTok.